People need to see man's here.
What's on the agenda for the meeting? Is there anything?
A Bristol River Jersey. Take a rebuilding or something for a subdivision. And then there's 3 or 4 for some local company and the diesel generators or diesel fuel.
Oh, yeah.
For those in the site.
Yeah.
4 different places. In Bristol, or something I think Bristol.
Any glasses? They look nice.
Might be nice to have easier.
You guys doing
Valley contract required certain things. Throw stuff away, take crap
got a
out.
hold of Black Hills Gas into my barn dominium because mainly I put they did under the sidewalk over here to the corner of the building. Approximately 30 feet for only $1,000. I said, what?
I'm working on it.
30 feet?
You're busy. I can continue after it's.
And I said,
You got allergies?
it'll be a week ago, but
Put a propane tank.
can you have propane tank in that?
Probably not.
It's all the heat out
Yeah.
Well, like the cat girl mentality.
There's no cat in my neighborhood.
Live closer to the edge of town.
Air operated 20 calibers.
He's taking money over the counter ones. It seems like they're working more.
Yes.
I built them up on that street.
That's what I do.
Just want to get started. All right. Call the meeting to order. Please join me in the pledge of allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Would you please take roll?
Councilman Manson?
Here.
Councilman Montoya?
Here.
Councilman Brits?
Here.
Councilman Reyes?
Here.
Mayor Graves?
Have for you an agenda. I don't believe there's any changes to it. So I would
Move to accept the agenda as published.
moved and seconded. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. We're going on to the consent agenda. There are minutes from the regular meeting and special meeting. And then the department reports. Entertain for the value of discussion, a motion to approve and place to record the consent agenda?
So moved. Second.
Been moved and seconded. Is there discussion?
The airport board update, that's part of the consent agenda.
Yeah, I put it in there because he was gonna make it as a council report update, and I just noticed it just had the airport board on there.
So are we gonna keep this part of the consent agenda then? Okay.
Ms. Fisher, I think that wasn't anything to do with the movie theater, was it?
No, that was for the fire hall.
Okay.
Any questions? Or everybody's pretty quiet. Are we good? Thinking I have something good. It's not placing our hand right at the moment. Well, hearing no discussion, I would all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Same sign. Motion will carry. Moving on to petitions, memorials, proclamations, and public comment. First order of business is the Wheatland Motocross Association.
Podium?
Podium, please.
All right.
Mr. Keck.
I'm gonna do that. Okay. All right. Council, Mayor, thank you for your time. We're trying to get the Wheatland motocross track going again, and the town council approved of helping us a few years ago when we first got started at motocross track, and we're all trying to get the supercross race going again. There's some other hoops I gotta jump through to get all this going, but this is my first step in the whole thing. So what I'm asking as a representative of Wheatland Motocross is the town of Wheatland, if they would be willing to help us out like they have done in the past.
And what was that?
When we had the motocross race, what you let me use was a water truck. That's the only thing we had throughout the motocross race. When we had the supercross race up at the fairgrounds, you let us use equipment for city employees, myself, to build the track, put the equipment, and other people helped, and then also tore it down when we were all done and smoothed out the arena. So basically, loader, skidster, and the patrol to finish what we were done. So that's what we're asking, if the town would be willing to help us out again like they've done in the past. But like I said, there's some other hoops we have to jump through. I'll talk to the fair board still. That's my next step after this one. And we're working on a new agreement with the landowner on the motocross track.
Would it be during the weekdays, during the
No.
weekend?
The building of the track, what I did in the years, on the motocross race, I took time off and got it all ready and stuff like that. And then I watered the night before the races. And we usually had a 2-day event. That was at the motocross track out there. And then at the motocross races, I took vacation time, built the track, got it all ready and stuff like that. The race was on the 4th of July. And then after the 4th of July, which usually was on a weekend, Baker would come in with the patrol and level it all out with the blade and get it all grooved up. So, but yes, it would be on the weekend. Either one, it would be on the weekend
So
race.
it's using town equipment, but not over.
Oh, no overtime. No, it was my own time.
So who would be using this equipment?
Only me,
Just you?
yes. There would be only a city employee involved with
Okay.
using the equipment. Nobody else is allowed to, so.
Gotcha.
He speaks the truth, that's what they did before.
Then he broke his leg, he couldn't undo it.
Never broke my leg yet, so shut up.
Yeah.
It's gonna be out on Badger Road, I don't know if you know where that's at, out by the oil tanks. But the landowner has switched owners, and I just had a conversation with one of the representatives of that last week. So we're kind of, this is just still up in the air. Right now, the track is closed. We got some new agreements with them. Hopefully they let us still use land to host a race and to practice and ride and stuff. There is in this past year, there's probably about 10 to 15 purchase bikes, and they're really getting into the sport. So, but like I said, if that double through with the land on that, we will not have a motocross track again. The Supercross, maybe. We'll see how that goes. So,
Did we do a waiver or any kind of indemnity?
I think we did a quick little one, didn't we, Rick?
somewhat, yeah.
Waiver that liability and then indemnity.
Okay.
It's been 3 or 4 years. It's been.
It was 2015 or 2000.
For me.
Well, everything was before you. I mean, sorry, I didn't know. I said, I'll pay for that tomorrow.
But yeah.
I think 2016 was our last motocross race, and I think 2015 was our last Supercross. So, and it always happens on the 4th of July. We do the fireworks afterwards. Fire department lines those up and gets those taken care of for us and stuff like that. People have really liked Supercross on the 4th of July.
So I was gonna say, you've had some big turnout. It's a pretty big economic impact.
We drew that one year, I think we had 155 riders, plus their families and stuff like that, so. I mean, it's not the hugest event ever, but it
The
did
local
all right.
people came and watched you, I think, didn't they?
Yeah.
So, did we do a motion or something last time?
I think he gave him a motion to approve it, him using the equipment.
Is that familiar?
I'll make the motion.
There you go.
To, let Rick use our equipment.
And I'll keep you guys updated if it goes through, then I'll touch base with you again, because the race won't be until next year on Memorial Day or Labor Day weekend. We do the 3-day weekend. We have a Riders Day after the race, a 2-day event.
That's second. Just to make it formal.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same side. Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Item number 2 is the 2022 election update. We have County Clerk Irvin here to give us said update.
Mayor and Council, thank you. I'm Malcolm Irvin, I'm the Platte County Clerk. My office is tasked with doing the federal, state, and county elections, but we also do the elections for 3 municipalities, Wheatland, Guernsey, and Chugwater. So I'm just going to each town to let the councils and their mayor know what my office is, what the town's role is. So filing starts May 12th, and it'll end the 27th at 5:00 p.m. What's interesting about that is, even if a town office closes at 4, or Chugwater's case noon, they have to accommodate the filing of applications through 5 o'clock on the 27th. So tomorrow I'll be emailing Candy applications for office, an explanation of her registrations. For her, it doesn't make as much sense because she's able to send them just down the street. But for Chugwater and Guernsey, it makes a lot of sense for people to be able to register in their towns. So they'll have applications for office to campaign finance reports. So what Candy does, she actually takes the application, if you're interested in filing for office or anybody, and she just lets me know who's filed on that day, sends me an electronic copy, and each day we publish a list of people who filed for office. So I compile all that information from the 3 municipalities in the Secretary of State's office for state and federal races every day. But really it's the town's responsibility to collect those applications and the fee associated with it, and they keep the fee. I bill later for election expenses, so that's designed to go towards that. But at that point, once filing closes, 501 on the 27th, basically my office will take over. We say the golf ball's teed up, and then we just hit it off the tee. So she tells us what races, we've already asked her what races she has that she needs on the ballot. She'll tell us who's supposed to be on the ballot, and from that point, we'll take care of campaign finance reports, anything like that, making sure that the election is certified and that the correct people show up on the general election ballot. So I just wanted to explain the roles. We had some confusion last time, not with this town, but so I just wanted to make sure I went to all three this time. Conveyed what my role is and what the town's role is. After 501 on the 27th, it gets much easier for the town. So, and not that it's too tough to begin with, but any questions?
When's the primary?
August 16th. And I combined polling places, so everybody within Wheatland will actually vote at the Agriplex, along with the surrounding, so the Wheatland area will all vote at the 4-H building. So that'll be the one significant change in town of Wheatland. The other significant change is our election precincts. The town of Wheatland used to have 4. Now it will be a single precinct. That was affirmed on May 3rd by the commissioners. It really way to streamline and reduce the number of ballot styles that we have to produce, because the ballots are the same, all 4 ballot types, but now we'll be able to have one ballot for the entire town, which makes it a little cheaper, a little simpler. Those will be the 2 significant changes. That change really shouldn't be very noticeable for many folks. The biggest change will be voting at the 4-H building as opposed to First State Bank. August 16th primary. So filing May 12th through 5 o'clock on the 27th. At 501 the 27th, we'll have a list published on our website. And the proclamation should be here in Town Hall. Show up in the paper starting Wednesday. So it's the season. Campaign signs are coming. Well, thank you very much.
Number 3 on the list, we have
Do you know who I
Mrs.
am?
Mitchell.
You better call me. As you all know, I live on the west side of the interstate. Hardly a week goes by that I don't see a near miss coming over that overpass onto 16th Street from Hightower. I would like to see you put a blinking stop sign, blinkers around it, and a sign that says if you're on the south side, look left, it doesn't stop, and on the north, look right, they don't stop, and a caution light at the top of that overpass. Trucks coming up there, they really can't get slowed down very well, and somebody pulls out in front of them, and it's I don't know how much it would cost, but I don't think it would be very much. But I think for safety, there's those 2 signs. Solar powered would be much. So that's what I would like for you to do. Thank you.
Normally, this is where you visit with us, Merlin. Have you got something for us?
Sure, I can talk. I don't have a whole lot to report. There's a couple of things coming along. I had an interesting meeting last night with a lady that wants to start a meat packing plant up by Glendale. We'll see if that goes anywhere or not. It would be a kosher slaughter. Big deal. But I really don't think that'll get much traction anywhere. I won't go into any more detail on that. I had a referral. Somebody called me interested in the Burger King building. I gave them the phone number of the realtor. They wouldn't tell me what they had in mind, so I don't know who they were. But I found it encouraging. Somebody called on it.
At least had an inquiry, huh?
Yeah, I did contact some people that owned a Dairy Queen franchise in Casper and told them about the building and invited them down to talk to me, but I haven't heard anything back from them. It seems we still have interest in data mining, but then when they find out that we want something up front before we put in a, $10 million substation for them, that they're really not interested anymore. They would like the county or the REA or the town to build the substation, and then they'd come and use $5,000 worth of electricity a month or something like that. But progress on the Total Spring Show, that'll be next Saturday. So I'd like to invite everybody to come out to that. It's a home, ranch, garden, farm and home show. We have quite a few different vendors signed up, everything from windows to knickknacks, tree service, turf masters, sod farm. There's going to be quite a variety of things there. Come out and see them. That's been taking a lot out of my time, a couple of weeks, and will keep me sleepless for the rest of this week, I'm sure. Thank you. See you all today.
Is there any other public comment at this time? Hearing none, I'd like Tabitha, will you come up here, please? To take a special moment and recognize Tabitha for being, it's called SHRM, but it's the Society of Human Resource Management certified. Spent many hours to accomplish this here certification, and just like take a minute and congratulate her on her achievement.
Chocolate.
Did you get this off my seat?
Well, with nothing else on that section, we will move on to unfinished business item number 1.
So you have Candy has been diligently updating data on the economic health trending charts. Our utility users staying relatively stable. Enrollments at the school district, they have not been posting new data, so they've just been kind of keeping the same data. I haven't asked Corey what the heck, why they're not posting their enrollment data, but you would expect it to kind of taper off, or the summer months they wouldn't post anything new. From last month, I started collecting some additional data that we talked about. I got it I sent it to Candy late this afternoon, but so in March, last month, there were 218 job openings from our data source. The month of April, it's down to 178. Job seekers, which we were looking at just continuing unemployment claims, are down from 19 to 17. So we still have that big ratio difference between seekers and openings. The unemployment rate in County is 3.3%. I need to talk to Shauna because I started looking at her data, and she's reporting there's 276 total employers in Platte County. I thought that's a good metric to track. How many employers, and the housing. trying to use data sources just through, right now, single-family dwellings that are for sale in the town of Wheatland are 13, which is down, I think, from last month. So overall, it's not that great of a picture, but I think it's consistent with the rest of the country. That's what next week we'll have some more data, and as we collect more data points, we'll add to the graphs.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Thanks. Thank you, Bill.
Unfinished business item number 2 is feral cats.
It is becoming a hot topic in town. Get a lot of concerned people. And as you know, we had one last meeting come in and voice his concerns. And I actually talked to his son who cleans yard up for him this spring cleanup. And he said it was absolutely disgusting. He said it was just terrible. He says, and Dad walked in the house after he'd been out the lights down on. That and there was a person that complained that there was somebody over here on 10th Street, I believe it was, maybe 11th, had 40-some cats in their house. That I don't know what to do about that. That's inhumane, if you ask me. I mean, if those cats get out, then they breed with in our community. They call them a community cat in our ordinance. And I don't know if I call them community cats or not. That's pretty dang nice. There's not much on the books about community cats. I think Tony has been working on this also, and it says in our ordinance, it shall be unlawful to feed feral cats on the public community properties. I know that goes on. I don't know if it's patrolled or watched. I don't know how you would do that. And the community cats should be received by veterinarians and neutered, spayed, and then ear-tipped and released back into the population. Makes no sense to me to release them back in the population when it doesn't do anything for the immediate problem. I mean, they're still, just because they're neutered, they're still going to poop. So to me, it's a non-deal. So I'm thinking we need to get our heads together and figure out something as a town and get something that we can put some meat to it and stand behind it and get rid of this problem. Tony's got some stuff that he pulled from I think it was Florida.
Actually, this was a study done at Michigan State University. Just a couple of things. Whatever we do is that we used to have this ordinance where we would trap, spay, neuter cats and then release them back into the community.
Right.
Well, that's a long-term process. Okay, I think we're a little bit past that now. This study said that female cats have 2 to 3 litters per year. So you figure you have all these feral cats out there, and they're producing, well, basically wild cats. You know? I think they go from feral to wild after that. But PETA actually believes that trapping, neutering, and releasing is rarely a success. And that says a lot. PETA thinks that that's not working. And they support humane euthanasia as a lesser of 2 evils to take care of this problem. I think what we're going to have to look at
a possibility. It's not gonna be popular, I don't think, but I think what we need to do is we need to set up an ordinance like we do for dogs, where you go out, you purchase a tag for your cat, put it on the collar. That way we know your cat is domesticated. If it's out running around, it gets picked up, you're gonna get a ticket. As far as euthanizing these cats, we haven't even decided if that's what we're going to do. Personally, I think that's something that we need to do. I don't think the spade neuter thing is working. But what it comes really down to in this conclusion in this study, it says people must confront cat overpopulation by refusing to create more wild cats in the first place. And that's by abandonment or not neutering or spading your pet. And the other one is people feeding these cats, because if they're getting food, they're staying healthy, and what's going to happen? They're going to produce more cats. You know, if they can't find the feed, they're not as likely to produce more kittens. So that's something else we're going to have to look at as far as possibly doing something about people that are feeding these feral cats. I think we just wanted everybody to know that we're looking at it, we're working on it, and we're going to try to find a solution to this. So that's all I have.
I did talk to the clerk over in Torrington today, and they have a problem over there. So it's not just Wheatland, and they had just. She told me they had just gone over their ordinance and revised their ordinance over there, and she was going to get it to me, but I didn't get it by the time we got here tonight, just to see what they came up with, and maybe it's where we don't have to reinvent the wheel, and just look at see how they wrote their ordinances, see if we can make that parts of that work. We really would like input from the community on. I know we could get a sense of people that are having problems. That it's a mess. It really is. So that was our main thing. We're going to work on it. And we are working on it. It's not something that we said we will do and let it run. We're going to do something.
Other thoughts or discussion? Thank you, Councilman Ray, for input. Moving on to new item number 1, Southeast Wyoming Control Cost Adjustment. Mick?
Mayor and Council, thank you for your consideration. Basically, what's happened is with the lack of several chemicals and fertilizers, costs have gone through the roof. For example, glyphosate's up 300%. Nitrogen, which is the base of all the fertilizer we use, is up 200%. Fuel is up 254% over what it was a year ago. So basically what we've done is, or asking to do, is a change of order to the total cost for the herbicide applications for the town bid. We have allowed ourselves a 5% increase, and I think this is about a 22.5% increase. We figured is that the total cost would go from $31,398 to $38,676 based on the price adjustments. And that's no adjustment to any labor, use of equipment, time. It's solely based on expense for chemical and fuel. So your consideration is appreciated. Any questions about that?
What was your actual dollar figure increase?
Over last year, it would be 72,7810, and over what we allotted for, it would be about 6,300, more than what we would have anticipated for this year.
There was no increase on the bare ground weed control, just the weed control and the fertilization.
Okay, that's all right.
So we're mainly looking at these two bottom numbers that we had budgeted 22, but now it's going to, with the expenses Mick was talking about, going up to a little over 28.
Yeah.
Now what's that to get us through the fall or the summer? What's our
Get us through this year.
end of the year is what you do?
Hopefully with any luck, something will change next year, but we'll have to see for 2023.
We need a motion on this?
Yes.
Well, due to fault of mix, it's something that I think that we need to go ahead and approve the additional costs. So I'd like to make a motion.
I'll second that. I'll second it.
Could I interject something? I just understand what you're trying to do, but you also have, I want to make sure you're not escalating it next year 10% over the increased budget, because that's what his bid form says. I just want verified so we don't have an issue later on, because if the prices go down, you know, at what level, that concerns me, because all of a sudden he can come back and say, well, you've agreed to that, and now I want 10% above that new figure. And that's my only concern with it.
We're in year 2. We're coming up on
Yes.
year 2.
Yes, sir.
We have a contract.
We don't have.
We have the bid form,
We just have the.
which I consider a contract.
That's like page 2 there, what we approved last year for the 3 years.
The 5%'s on that 22,000.
Yep.
Well, and then, because like your concern is working the next 10% based on 28,000 instead
If
of
you
20.
approve it, I mean, I just don't want that to come back.
Well, can we make this specific to year 2, 2022 season? And then, or something to the effect then that we're going to maintain our initial bid form of the 21,250 to base future increases off.
You could do that. You could do that.
Just somehow
Do we have,
protect what you said.
do you have any issues with other bidders that might contest a change in the contract after the fact?
I don't think so. I think it's a unique situation, Councilman.
I agree.
And so I do not think so.
So we need to amend that?
Yeah, I would just amend it just for year 2, specific for year 2. And the terms on year 3 would remain there. Obviously, if it doesn't come down, Mr. Cochran's
Back.
Gonna have this discussion again.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'd like to amend that we adjust the overage for just 22 at this point.
For year 2, the bid.
Okay, year 2 of the bid.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion will carry.
Thank you.
New business item number 2 is the cost proposal for the landfill monitoring from Dry Hydro.
So this year, landfill monitoring, they've decreased it by $2,464. Total amount is $24,416. We're hoping that it continues to decrease because they'll have to do less, and Dean Crow can do some of the work himself and that sort of thing as time goes along.
These are actual, hours per hour level, that when they come out and read the meters that are in there.
Yes, it's, they have special equipment to come do the monitoring. Dean goes up there monthly and tests the methane, and then they come and do the groundwater sampling, and then the vegetation, and these are just all requirements by DEQ on that plan.
So that's what my next question was, that's requirement.
We'll be doing some type of monitoring out there. It was 30 years made of closures, well, we're really down to 20 years.
30 years, wow.
So they discussed the change in their process, their sampling process. Are they gonna make that change?
Yes, I think they are.
And the state's okay with that?
Yes.
DEQ?
See, it says, DEQ is willing to allow the town to switch these.
Well, it's very rare that we can, make a motion to approve something that's costs less. So I guess I would move that we retain Tri-Hydro to do the monitoring for the town of Wheatland.
I'll second it.
Been moved and seconded. Is there further discussion?
Can we make sure that over the next, maybe quarterly or something, they can read to us how their sampling process is going? So because they're saying if it works, there's a significant pay.
Okay, I will make sure we have that.
I think it says 9,000, isn't it?
Yeah, 8,000 to 9,000.
Quarterly, or probably plenty.
We ready to call? Sure. All in favor of approving Tri-Hydro to stay as the monitoring service for the Old Randall site, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
You didn't have any of it.
No. So, it'll go out to bid next year. We did 2 years.
Oh, right.
Moving on to announcements, the next regularly scheduled council meeting will be June 13th. And if you are sitting around lacking something to do on May 11th, 12th, 16th, and 19th, we're doing budget workshops right here in this room, so feel free to come and partake if you'd like.
Bring beer.
Did you say bring beer?
Yeah, okay, guys.
And with no other business,